She move her body like a shaman. All in my head, so much in common. Just say that word, baby, I'm on it. If this ain't love, then I don't want it. She move her body like a shaman.
So
Wow.
I definitely have a lot of those stories, but yeah, I feel like, and also to reflect off the Four Agreements book, it was a chapter where the mother was upset. Like her daughter was always singing, she had a good singing voice. And then one day the mother was not in the mood. She was really upset. And then she yelled at her daughter, like, you have an ugly voice. You have an ugly voice. And then her daughter, you know, took that in, and she never again. She never sung again because that one negative interaction. And but yeah, but yeah, with that story, it's like, yeah, you know what? I should peep the vibrations, and I shouldn't.
Yes.
With my mother, I understood the vibration. Oh, the door is closed. Leave her alone.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
For a grown person, right? You can do that because you know. But for a child, they can't
they don't
know that, right? And this is where parents being responsible for their reaction of what you in that moment teach your child. I feel this is just my opinion. I think that if you are mad, this is what I've been practicing, right? If I am mad, I let my parties know in the equation who are still being themselves. Yo, something triggered me today and I just really out of it. So I may or may not snap at you, but I just let you know, like, dude, it ain't even nothing to do with you. Just know that. It has nothing to do with you. I feel like we as adults and some people as parents should take into responsibility and stop looking at children like they're children and say, honey, I know that you're talkative today or whatever the case is, but I'm just going to tell you, mom had a really bad day and I am so offset. And I know that you're being yourself and I don't want to snap at you. So whatever goes down, know that I am not mad at you. Believe it. You saying that to that child will calm down and try to comfort you. One and two, your anger will disappear because you've expressed it. You have give it a thought. You give it emotion, and it's going to go somewhere. But when you hold it in and you don't say anything, your child can't know the emotion that you're feeling. And in that moment, not only did you get comfort from your child, your anger is gone. You have taught your child how to express their emotions as well.
Yeah.
Understand? So as an adult, I know if my mom is mad, God, I'm gonna give her a hug or a kiss and be like, you good? Everything cool? And I'm gonna leave her and come back and be like, so you good still? And leave that as is. I know this. I'm an adult. Your 6-year-old and 4-year-old don't know that you're mad. They may sense it, but they don't know that this is their learning stage. So as an adult, be responsible. Do not give your child the opportunity to blame themselves for your emotions and you being mad. That is not for them to take on your burden. That's unfair.
Exactly. One time I sparked an argument over dishes, and it wasn't about dishes. It's like, man, it's like, man, nah, man. It's like, yeah, it's about work and the negative energy. Because I mean, I might just start bringing sage to my office. To be honest. I don't know if that's gonna be allowed, but yeah, it's like,
I got you. Like you don't know what people are experiencing in their life, and what we need to learn to do is learn how to express. Like what he is doing is so freaking amazing. He is reading self-help books. He's going places that he know that he can come away with something and apply positively in his life. You want to have, and the things that he is learning, he's going to not only take into his friendship, he's doing his YouTube, he's doing his podcast, but when he has his relationship, he's gonna apply that to his relationship as well. And then when he do have his kids, do you know the little spawns in a good way that he's gonna be producing? Understand? And not that too, because he is aware of himself and he's getting that self-help. He's gonna choose a divine feminine to be able to produce beautiful kids that they are all going to be stable. We need to take accountability. I've been saying this a lot in a lot of my videos. If you watch my videos, you will see me keep repeating this statement all the time. You're gonna have children and be responsible.
exactly.
You can't just have kids and not know anything.
Exactly. That's why, to bring this little piece in, that's why, like having sex with anybody is like, hey, that's exchanging. scarce energy
Energy.
exchange with anybody. It's like that could be a toxic individual. You
Yes.
don't want to. And it's just responsible, just like it's accountability behind your actions and behind your words. It's accountability. It's not
Yes.
attacking you. It's just accountability. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah,
I agree with
you
you.
gotta
And I
tribe
just
equals tribe.
piggybacking off of what he said, like people are not aware that your sexual energy transfer, like, okay, a perfect example. So you can see what we mean by what he just said and what I'm about to say. When
Hmm.
someone is mad or something is off with them, they come run you with that energy. Then all of a sudden it triggers that in you and you become mad. You take that energy from them. The same thing happens when you have sex with a person. You end up taking that person's a small bit of that person's personality. You end up taking a small bit of that person's odor as well that you're not aware of. That little pheromones get into your pheromones. You start smelling like that, like them as well. Like men mark women when they have sex with them. You will have sex with a person and realize, oh, my whatever changed in sex. The same thing with a man. So not knowing that when you have sex with a man, he gives you his sperm, but he also takes yours as well, You're both exchanging fluid through his little thing. Yeah, all of that I know is shocking. Yes, but her shit is in your system too, buddy, not just his alone. So we always have to be aware of the energy that we decide to exchange with another person during intercourse. You just can't possibly decide to go do something because then you realize that all your life you've been a given person. You know what? Things been going good with you. You forgive, and then next thing you have sex with John and Harry and kind of regard you hella selfish, and you just don't give a about somebody. Where you
Yeah,
get from?
you got all those personalities in you, and yeah, it's like these people get in situationships, and it's a bad situation. You're gonna have a bad bad energy in you because you got
It's true. That ship's
yeah,
gonna be capsizing, like majorly capsizing.
yeah, and people understand it's like 6 types of intimacy. Physical,
Mm.
emotional, intellectual,
Mhm.
creativity, and experimental and spiritual. And it's all about finding the balance. What's the balance that you found and that works in like your relationships or experiences? What balance have you found that works for you?
Expressing. For me,
Yeah,
I find that me expressing more, being impeccable with my words while expressing more, let's put it that way. I find that because I say what it is that I have to say, I am letting you know where my mindset is. So you are aware this is where it is. I find that I used to be afraid of expressing myself, of course, from the big thing of a black woman and this and the attitude and all that, but I've come to realize that's a bunch of nonsense. So I express more, and for me, I want to sit down and hash it out. Like, let me know what it is up with you. What is this is up with me? What can we do to make this functional? Right? Because the fact that we are both aware that we did not come from a functional right zone, but we want to
exactly.
go in a functional zone. What can we do to make it functional? How much time do you need to unpack and unlearn and reheal? Do you need my assistance with healing? I feel like we have to take responsibility for that and accountability for that as well. You want to be in the union, that means you help each other heal. And comprehension. I feel like we don't comprehend completely. We always trying to talk and say this and say I know this and know that, but we don't give each other time to comprehend what our partners are saying, what our friends are saying. Right? We are always in here. We don't ever feel that. We have to start feeling what
Exactly.
they're saying to you, where it's coming from. Why do you think you said that? Where do you think it came from? Be a therapist to the people around you until they can do it for themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
And yeah, like sometimes I get frustrated after like if I give some people advice, it's like okay, you're not taking the advice I gave. It's like okay, dang, it's okay. and then I feel like some people even use me as like a as a I'll just say like a comfort couch. Like yeah, they
Mhm.
could come to me. It's like yeah, if you're not
Yeah,
taking my advice, if you're not
don't come.
trying to change, like yo, I can
What's
give
the
you all the
point?
information.
You just
Yeah,
like
I can
hearing
give
my
you all the
voice.
information. You just like hearing my voice. Like yeah, some person like some people text me like, yeah, I just want to talk to you on these. It's like, have you even comprehended the last conversation we had?
Get
I
in?
gave
All
you
right, then.
five Eagles tribe. That's what I've been telling you. It's like
I
sometimes,
agree with you.
yeah, yeah,
Completely. I agree with you. I feel like we all, like right now is the age of healing and knowing and unlearning. And people like him and I and other people in our category. And if you want to come onto this platform, not platform, but this journey, I think you should know that you are always going to be the one in the room that knows more, act more mature, and be responsible with your action and words. This is the mantle that you have picked up. So you cannot be irresponsible with the mantle because people are going to be looking at you for that clarity. And you have to know that you have to be responsible with everything that
yeah,
you're saying you do. People are looking, people who don't know any better that wants to learn, that wants
yeah,
to learn. This is the time that people want to come out of what they used to into something new. So we can't, yes, is you feel under pressure, but brush that off because in about 10 to 15 years, you're good. You have brought people up to you where you can sit down and have a functional conversation. And this is what we are working towards,
yeah,
having a functional conversation.
definitely.
Question: how is your conversation in your has changed since you've been in this journey with other people and your people? How have you start choosing your friends, and what is the change that you've been seeing in your community since your growth?
Since my growth, I find, you know, there's people that, that gives good vibrations and they do activities where the activities I stopped doing, like, certain activities that, me knowing what I know is like, yeah, I can't drink with y'all. It's like I just know what happens. I know how alcohol,
Right.
spirits. I don't mess with it. It's like, yeah, I don't do that. So I'm gonna find people that, yeah, I just
Right.
try to find people that fits in, that I fit in with, and that even inspires me to do it else
Mm-hmm.
positive, just do positive activities.
Mm-hmm. I agree
And
with you.
just good vibrations. That's what I look for. It's like, okay, I like that. Yeah, so that's pretty
I'm a feed off
much.
of that energy. I think I can learn something from that energy as well. Yeah. From my end of the spectrum, the same thing with me as well. Like I'm always down for conversations like these, right? These are the
Yeah,
type of things that I'm always down. I always down for authenticity. Like I'm gonna sit down with you, we're gonna vibe, we're gonna just talk about things and go somewhere, let the conversation guide itself. And for me, because of the limited amounts of people in this section of the world, I find that I look to overseas. Like if you watch most of my channel, you would see that my conversation are with people from overseas. They're not from this side of the world because only this side of the world are now realizing like, yo, we got major issues, right? So
yeah,
I don't have a lot of people around me that I can say that I can sit down and have a full on broad conversation, right? Without they feeling like shit, she know a lot and she intimidate me and let me shut down, right? And I feel like that comes again from childhood when your parents are like, oh, you don't know nothing, shut up.
yeah. Yeah, it's like, man, that stuff happened too much. Like, yeah, it's like, no, you don't. It's like, all right, I leave it alone. I'm taking a walk, ma. It's like,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go breathe, man. I don't think this conversation is gonna end the way you want it to end right now, man. So let's just leave that as it is.
yeah,
Um, when it comes to adults and still being a child to their parents, their grown parents, and you being an adult, right? What can you say? Well, how do I phrase? I'm trying to find a way to phrase it. I'm trying to ask you how we can let our parents know, like, ma, I know that you grew up learning certain things, but it's kind of been wrong.
yeah,
I'm trying to get you to them, like, yo, it's been kind of wrong. Here is some information, here is some vibe. You know what I mean? Because being from a Caribbean household, I'm telling you, you can't tell your parents you're wrong. They're trying to slap you. No matter if you about 40 and they're about 60, they're still trying to stop you. So have you had that conversation with your parents to be like, ma, things changing. We have all been duped.
Yeah, I definitely had those conversations. It's like, Mom, you don't know about Joe Biden? So you don't know his history? Yo, Mom. It's like, so let me tell you. Like, yeah, it's like, and like having conversations like, man, you know so much, Cedric. Yeah, Mom, I just, you know,
Pay attention.
I see the, yeah, I see the, yeah. See
So
the
she's
bull.
acceptable to you in this lifestyle and stuff like that. Has she tried to apply change for herself or no?
Definitely. I feel like, if anything, I'm just trying to get my father. It's like,
Wow.
I think that, like, you know, I feel like it's more stubborn on the men's side. And I feel like it's understandable. Like, you know something to work a certain way, and you're not gonna go against that. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
gonna work every time.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
see.
someone makes layups. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to layups because I make it 100% of the. You don't want to try a jump shot? Like, nah, I'm gonna just do the layups, man.
The fear of new. That is most of our issue in our community, the fear of new stuff. We don't ever want to be disappointed.
Yeah, change is
And
scary. Change is scary for some people. Like,
yeah,
I had a conversation like, nah, I'm not trying to change you. I'm just trying to help you. He's like, you
right.
feel like you're trying to change. Like, nah, I'm just trying to help you because based off the information you're telling me, this is all I can tell you. Because
Right.
yeah, it's
Right.
like, so people think, yeah, it's like, nah, I'm just trying to help. Yeah.
Most of us are always trying to help in any form or fashion when we have anything new. But for me, when I started on this journey, I wanted to just help everybody. But then I realized, yeah, the same way when people used to tell you that you needed help too and you didn't want to take it, possibility. So then I started to use my energy instead. I start to live this life and I start to be true to myself and I show people the change in what I did in my action instead of my words. Because if we've been paying attention, most of what we've been having our whole life are words, right? And
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of action. So I start to act instead. I start to, if it's so that you come to me in an angry manner and I know, okay, this is a moment where you shouldn't be angry, so just listen. I listen. I show that person how to do that. So if it so happened where, and I've realized in my community, if I decide to come and vent or whatever, or or say something like you got me mad, but I vented to you, but I'm not angry at you. You don't take it personal because once upon a time when you did that to me, I didn't take it personal. What I did was understand through your venting what you were, your emotion behind that vent, right? And I found that because I started doing that, conversing with the people around me became easier because they start applying that to their lives as well. So I stopped taking it where, oh, you know what, I wasted my breath. No, I use my energy and my action. So I talk in the more 1,000 words.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Ooh, you're
what it's about.
sticking.
You know,
Oh, you stick out just
yeah,
now.
yeah, that's what it's
Right.
about. You know, some people scared to, change their ways, and they're used to some a function. They're used to something that's been dysfunctional, or proven to be dysfunctional, and they find function in the dysfunction. It's like, okay, but that's not functional. It's not really. Ideally, it could work, but it's not really functional. But yeah,
Yeah. I agree with you because that same dysfunction, you won't have kids. You can't teach those things to children.
yeah,
They're not going nowhere. They're going to become you or worse because not only are they going to be dealing with you home because you're the one that's going to be forming that mold from home. It starts from home. It always starts from home. And
yeah.
then they're going to use that and go into the world to apply home to the world. Do you really want your children to apply home to the world? Is there something you want them to apply?
Yeah, yeah, and shoot, Chris Rock says, forget what because he have daughters. Like, yeah, see, I love you, but the world don't even know. They don't know you. They don't love you.
Right,
So,
right. I like
and
that.
like, and I used to, sometimes like as a kid, I think every kid messed up. I used to call the teacher mom, so I was stuck at home in school. Say mom's like what? Miss mom's like nah.
Yep, yep, that happened to me so
Yeah,
many times.
yeah. So me finding out that and finding out how the world works, this is how you function. Yeah, it's definitely true because yeah, you don't get your way. Like you can't hit nobody if they don't want to give you the remote. Like
Right.
if they don't they don't want to change the channel. Like, man, you can't fight everybody. It's like, yeah, it's like
I
I
think
used to I used
our
to pinch my
family
brother when I
friendship
didn't get
brother.
my way. Yeah, I used to pinch him. Like, yeah, it's like,
You see that physical abuse now? Look at that. And then when you look at that, where did you learn from doing that? Where did you see that from?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us don't know that most of the things that we do, even to this adult stage, the things that we say are things that we've heard and then apply to ourselves, and then we redo them into the world. It's like we're regurgitating every single action and emotion and things that we've said. This is just who we are. It's like a repeated cycle. We need to be able to give our people, our youngings, their own persona. Go back to the time where our redo, the time where young children were leaders and we trusted the young to lead us, right? Because we knew that not one, they were fresh from the other side and they had all the great information, right? Before we decide to hug that shit down. Let them be expressive. I'm not trying to tell you that if your child through a whole tantrum and they're trying to be ridiculous, you know, put a slap on them. There are time and places for that. You know what I mean? You know when to and when not to. We've got to learn the boundary and know when and how, the where and how, the when and how. We have not learned
Yeah,
that lesson.
it's a struggle, and we definitely got to figure it out for sure. And yeah, it's all about just like I always say this to people. Yeah, just like I'm doing good, just evolving daily. I literally mean that. It's like, okay, just evolving daily. It's like, yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to get better every day. That's all
yeah,
you can do. Yeah,
it's true. Like if you are in a date and it